Yo, 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 what is going on, YouTube family? My name is Sutton Def from the Purple Rain podcast, and this is a very special stream. Today is my birthday. I did want to come on here and kind of chop it up with you guys about recent Ravens news. Of course, Diontae Johnson has been waived by the Ravens. I know a lot of you guys are kind of raving about that. No pun intended. But again, this is just another impromptu Purple Rain podcast live stream. Yo, so like I said, my name is Sutton Def from the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel that you're watching right now live. And if you're not watching live, you're part of the hashtag replay gang. First of all, hello. Thank you for coming through. Again, my name is Sutton Def. You can follow me on X or Instagram at Sutton Def down below. You can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, like you see down below. And then, of course, our sponsor, Manscaped, manscaped.com. You can go in there, fill your cart up high to the sky, right? And at the end, at checkout, you can save 20% off by putting in our code PRP, and you get also free international shipping as well. So, you didn't hear from me. You kind of did, but you didn't. But cheers, right? Again, today's my birthday. I got me a little beer, a little brewski. I got my dog right here. He is wanting to be in the mix on the stream. He wants to talk Ravens too, I guess. You need to go. You need to go somewhere. Sit down. Thank you. But yeah. If you're in the chat, if you're in the live chat right now, make sure you sound off in the comments. I would love to hear y'all and see who's in here tonight. Ravens, big game tomorrow. Big game tomorrow against the Steelers. I've been thinking about it all day and, what the Ravens need to do to win this game. I think that this is going to be a very, very big game when it comes to limiting turnovers, right? Limiting turnovers is going to be the key to victory in this one. I said it last night on the live stream when we had Kyle Barber on. Shout out to Kyle Phoenix. He's awesome. A wealth of knowledge. He's behind the scenes with the team, is talking to a lot of the guys in the locker room, a lot of the players and stuff like that. So getting his insight last night on the show was very, very cool to see. But I was telling him that, hey, man, listen, you have to listen. The Steelers live and die off of turnovers. They literally do. They live and they die off of turnovers. That just is what it is. So if we can limit the turnovers tomorrow to zero, right? No turnovers is what I would prefer. But that's going to be the key to victory for us to win the game on Saturday, because the Steelers don't have much of an offense. There's no George Pickens playing, right? Our run defense is stout, so I don't really see a big game from the likes of Najee Harris and company. Russell Wilson, I don't really see him scrambling a whole lot either. Roquan's been playing really well. I think he'll be on that. So really the only thing is just do not turn the ball over. Do not give them more possessions than necessary. Simple as that. Sean Cole says, happy birthday. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Says, how old are we today? I am 29 today. Yes. Your hostess with the mostest. Sutton Def, he is 29 today. Sean says, I don't think we would have got a comp pick because I don't believe anyone would have picked DJ up, so to cut him was smart. Yeah, I mean, with this whole Diontae Johnson situation, I guess we can just go ahead and jump right into it. Right? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I just, he calls me a young pup. I am. I'm pretty young. 29 years young today. But thank you for the birthday wishes. But when it comes to DJ, man, I said this a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, on a YouTube short, right? When we got Diontae Johnson originally, I was saying, I don't really see what the purpose is in getting another wide receiver, right? When we have so many other glaring issues. I would have preferred maybe I don't know, going out and picking up a guard or a DB or, something like that. It just didn't really feel like receiver was the position of need right now. Now, what I will tell you is that this specific week against the Steelers, I think that, of course, with Nelson Aguilar being out with a concussion, Bateman trending towards not playing with a foot, and, us basically trotting out Zay Flowers, Tylan Wallace, and Devontae Walker, this would have been the game to get Diontae Johnson involved and actually do something. Sean says, where are we going to find a guard? I don't know, Sean. I don't know. That's really not my job, right? I think that's Eric's job. That's Eric DaCosta's job to go out there and find something. I just don't think that a receiver at that specific time was necessary, right? And a month and a half later, especially that receiver, a month and a half later, turns out I'm right. Am I not? Because, Diontae Johnson, 6 yards? The guy, I think we paid him, how much did we pay him? Like $600,000 or something like that to finish up his contract. 6 yards is what we got out of Diontae Johnson. 6 yards. 1 catch, 6 yards. I think 5 targets or something like that. Sean says it's too late to find a guard. I want Calais Campbell. And see, here's why I agree with you, Sean. I agree with you right here because I'm a big Calais Campbell supporter. I really would like him back on this team. I loved him on this defensive line. I love the leadership that he brings to that locker room. I loved the big game presence that he had. I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was 2022. It wasn't last season. It was season before last. So I think it was 2022. It was a Thursday night game against the Colts. And some of you guys might know where I'm coming from with this one. But that game was very, very close, right? And I think the Colts could have put it away essentially with a field goal. But Calais Campbell stepped up. He blocked the field goal. And the rest was history. Lamar Jackson took care of business after that. I need that guy on my team. This defense is playing better right now, yes. But I think bringing in a Calais Campbell, a veteran leader, you know what I'm saying? The guy's like, 36 or 38 years old, something like that. He's older, right? But he's still playing good ball. And if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs, right, if they get eliminated mathematically from contention, he said that he would not mind going to a contender. And guess what we are? Contenders. I got to be careful not to say we. My guy Kyle Barber kind of spoke out against that last night, saying that, even though he works for the team, he tries to make it a point not to say we because he's not actually on the team. I'm not actually on the team. The Ravens, you guys know what I'm talking about. Let me see. Sean says, I specifically wanted them to pick up Calais Campbell, but DJ, but I was happy that they did at least try, but they could have paid more money. Shamil Malik says, what's up, Sutton? What's going on, Shamil? Appreciate you for coming through. Shamil says he's the only former Dolphin we should bring in. I agree, man. Calais Campbell, you got a spot on this team. You got a spot on the Baltimore Ravens, man. I think that him, along with a Roquan Smith, along with a Marlon Humphrey, along with those guys on the defensive line, Travis Jones, Nnamdi Madubuike, who have played with him before, right? I think that really, really turns up our defense another notch, which we're going to need in the playoffs, right? Because as it stands right now, we're going to be playing in the first round, right? Texans, Steelers, or maybe Chargers, Broncos, something like that, right? That's what it's looking like. Now, I'm not afraid of any team, to be quite frank with you, but those teams aren't necessarily they don't have the most high-powered offenses. But what I will say is that, again, in the playoffs, things change, games get tighter, things are a lot harder. It's a lot harder to score, to be honest with you, because teams literally lock in on you for an entire week. It's the regular season. Teams go. Oh, crap. Hold on. My girlfriend's FaceTiming me. Hold on. I'm on live. I guess she doesn't know that. My girlfriend's FaceTiming me. Hold on. Let me pick up the phone. Let me call her back. Can't ignore her. Yes, babe.
Oh, you're in the middle of a thing.
Yeah, I'm on live right now. You're literally on live. Love you. Yeah. So, the Chef 87 says, "What's up, Sutton? What's going on, Chef? Would love to have Calais back. OBJ can stay under the hair dryer at the hair cuttery. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, and now I kind of get what you said, Shamil, when you said he's the only former Dolphin we should bring in. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about Odell. I'm not a fan of bringing Odell back to Baltimore. I'm just not like, not to say that he's a bad player, not to say that he's a bad person. I think that he's a good player, right? I think that he's a little bit over the hill at this point in his career. Of course, I think a lot of people would agree with me there. Um, but I did like the vibes that he brought to the locker room, and that would have been the only reason why I could see bringing Odell Beckham Jr. back into the fold with the Ravens. But no, I agree with Shamil here. I mean, Calais Campbell, he's the only Dolphin that we should consider bringing back in. Because if you think about it, late in the season, right, I think that a lot of the teams that we're going to be matching up against, so let's say the Pittsburgh Steelers, right, of course, the Texans, the Browns, I feel like a lot of those teams, or at least two out of those three teams, are going to try to run the ball heavily on us. And I like Calais Campbell in those spots. But where I like Calais Campbell even more is as a pass blocker. And what I mean by that is a guy who can tip the ball at the line of scrimmage, right? I feel like that's something we've been missing a lot this season. And let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you've seen a lot of tip balls from the line of scrimmage from our defensive line, but I have not. I have not. Brent Urban was a guy who, I don't want to say even specialized in that, but he could get that done because of, his size, his height. Calais Campbell is also a mammoth of a man, very, very tall, right? So I just think that, getting him back on this defensive line, it could really, really help in a lot of different situations. Obvious passing downs. I like a Calais Campbell on my defensive line, getting those big arms up and getting in the throwing lanes. That's what I like. Calm down, boy. It's okay. Jamil says, I can't wait till tomorrow, man. Me neither, man. I'm so excited. Honestly, like I said last night on the show, the Ravens need this one more than anything. I need the Ravens to win this game tomorrow more than I need air at this point. Beating the Steelers is just, it's at the forefront of my brain right now. Even on today's my birthday. All I want for my birthday, I tweeted this. All I want for my birthday is for the Ravens to get a W over the Steelers tomorrow. That's it. That's quite literally it. So they got to go out there. They got to play with some pride, and they got to put up more than 20 points. They got to put up more than 20 points. I said this also last night on stream. I also said it earlier this week on the Charm City Sideline podcast. Make sure you guys go subscribe to them. I said that I think Todd Monken pulls out not all the stops for this one on offense, but I think he pulls out a stop or two. I think we see something very creative tomorrow. I think we see some creative play calls to get us downfield, to get us in the end zone, to give us a leg up on this Steelers team who, their game plan. Mike Tomlin, he hasn't literally said it himself, but Marlon Humphrey said this earlier this week at the press conference. What they want to do against the Ravens, they want to keep it close. They want to keep it tight until the end of the game. They want to keep it ugly until the end of the game where they can just find a way to win. They can be up by a field goal, right? And it's just Mike Tomlin telling TJ Watt, hey, pin your ears back, get after Lamar Jackson. We can't have that because we lose in those situations 9 times out of 10. We just do, especially against the Steelers. Shamil Malik says we could use his length on kick blocking too, just for the sake of it. Get him and Brent out there. See, Shamil, we're on the same page, bro. We're on the same page. Great minds, great minds. Sean Cole says heavy package, 42-22, Mark and likely blocking. Mark sneak out, find space, 2 wide receivers, option to throw to 42, and Lamar option to run. Yeah, those are some heavy packages. Those are some heavy, heavy packages. 2 running backs, 2 tight ends is something that we kind of run pretty frequently, having Andrews and likely on the field at the same time. I don't really know. You know, you bring up an interesting point here, Sean, because with the absence of Rashad Bateman, with the absence of Nelson Aguilar, I do think that John Harbaugh and this offense, Todd Monken, I'm sure they probably sat down today and said, hey, look, we're going to have to out physical this team, you know? So we're going to have to show up heavy and we just got to body these dudes, right? And I'm really, really hoping for a big game from Derrick Henry tomorrow because we need it. We need it bad. We need it really, really bad. Derrick Henry to have a good game tomorrow. Let me see. Tyler Brown says, Rain Gang, Ravens Eve. So ready for tomorrow. I'm tired of the talking heads and slick talk. Time to put the pads on and hit. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Tyler. Appreciate you for coming through. Also gives me birthday wishes. Thank you so much, Tyler. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Shamil. We appreciate you as well. Lil in the chat says happy birthday. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. He says he's gonna be at the game tomorrow. Nice. Definitely show up. I mean, listen, man. I think Alex might be at the game tomorrow too. So if you see him, definitely say what's up. But it's gonna be a lot of Steelers fans in attendance. I can say that with confidence. I mean, Steelers fans travel very, very well. They're probably one of the best traveling fan bases in the league, you know. So it's gonna be loud, but I need my guys in purple and black to be louder, the loudest. The chef says he's also gonna be at the bank tomorrow. Hopefully we can lead by 10 points comfortably in the fourth quarter. Yeah, man. Because listen, like I said before, the Steelers, all they're playing for is to go into the fourth quarter with it being, you know, a one possession game. Whether it be one way or another. Obviously, they would prefer it to be their way. But this is a game where the Ravens cannot come out flat. All right. Now, my girlfriend's mom is calling me. All right. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. I'm actually on live right now. I'm actually on live YouTube right now. It's funny you call me. Yeah. All right. Love you. All right. Bye. All right. So that was that. Appreciate y'all's patience. Let me see. Shamil says this is the game for Derrick to get 25 carries. He's been kind of quiet recently. TJ Watt is fresh off of I-word, right? Let's lean on him all game, run the rock on these boys. You know, with TJ Watt being banged up, I think it's an ankle that he's dealing with right now. I know for a fact he's not 100%. I know for a fact that he's probably not even 80% right now. But I also know for a fact that the Steelers know for a fact they need him out there for this game. You know, if the Steelers lose this game, they don't automatically lose the North. If we lose the game, we automatically lose the North. That's for sure. But I think that there is a good chance that if the Ravens win this game, they can still win the North because guess who the Steelers play next week? The Kansas City Chiefs. And if there's anybody who's got voodoo magic out there, I know a lot of people want to pin that on the Steelers and whatnot, but if there's anybody who's got the voodoo magic, y'all know who it is. It's those boys in red who play up in Missouri. I'm just saying. So I could see them beating the Steelers, and then in week 18, the final week of the regular season, the Steelers play the Cincinnati Bengals. And we know divisional games are always tough. So there is an outside chance. And again, the Ravens still have to win out. Ravens got to win out. We got to win tomorrow. We got to win on Christmas against the Texans, and we got to beat the Browns in week 18. It's a lot of things that need to happen. It's like putting together a parlay on FanDuel, like a 6-leg parlay, right? And you need all 6 legs to hit. It's going to be high odds for that. You know, it's going to be tough. I think we can get it done, though. But getting back to what Shamil says here, Derrick Henry, 25 carries, run right at TJ Watt. Yes. I do think that Derrick Henry needs 20 plus carries. I do think he needs 20 plus carries. But my biggest concern, and let me know what you guys think in the chat about this, when it comes to the passing game, because there will be inevitable downs where it's 3rd and long, right? And they're going to be able to really bracket Zay Flowers in this game. Not that Zay Flowers has been having, not that Zay Flowers has been performing out of his mind the past couple of weeks, because he hasn't. But I think in this game, since he's going to be the only kind of premier wide receiver that the Ravens have available, because again, I don't think that Rashad Bateman is going to play. I think that they have extra emphasis and focus on shutting down Zay Flowers, and they're going to make somebody else beat them through the air. That's going to be the Steelers' game plan in this one. Make somebody else other than Zay Flowers beat you through the air. So who are we looking at? We're looking at Tylan Wallace, Tez Walker. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? I mean, Tylan Wallace, I love Tylan Wallace. I really do. I just don't know if he can be, he hasn't dropped a pass all season. He hasn't. I know he had some struggles in special teams the other week, but when it comes to the receiving game, as a receiver, Tylan Wallace is very, very solid. He shows up. He's a lunch pail kind of guy, right? He catches everything. Now, my guy Shamil Malik brings up here that this has got to be a likely an Andrews game, and here's where I also agree. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you there. I'm just trying to figure out who's going to have the bigger game between the two, Andrews or Likely. Andrews has been playing out of his mind lately. He's come on very, very strong in the second half of the season. But I'm thinking Likely gets a touchdown in this game. I said it the other day on the Charm City Sideline podcast. Again, that's my bold prediction for tomorrow's game. Isaiah Likely touchdown. If you want to bet on that, I don't know what the odds are right now. It's probably like plus 400 or 500, if I had to be honest with you. But I'm going to go with an Isaiah Likely touchdown. Again, I think the Ravens win tomorrow. I truly do. I'm going to go 31-23 Ravens. And the reason why I have us putting up 30 points, I think there's a surplus of points against the Steelers team that we normally don't get. Simply because I think Todd Monken is going to get a little bit more creative. He's going to get in his bag a little bit more just so we can beat the Steelers. Todd Monken is going to go in his bag to beat the Steelers. I know you guys saw him earlier this week going up to the wide receiver camp, the wide receiver group, and telling them, preaching how important ball security was. This is a guy, Todd Monken, who desperately wants to win this game. Desperately wants to win. Todd Monken hasn't beaten the Steelers as a Ravens coach. I'm sure that keeps him up at night. I'm sure that's going to keep him up tonight. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time is going to be on and popping, man. It says Monken's been pissed about losing to the Steelers. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If Deshaun Elliott is out, work the middle of the field with those big tight ends. Yes. Only way we're gonna be able to do that though is if the offensive line can protect Lamar Jackson up front. That's the only way. With TJ Watt being banged up, I feel like there's no excuse for our defensive line to get kind of bullied, pushed around. Roger Rosengarten, I think, is going to have a day tomorrow. Last week, he had 28 pass blocking snaps, and he allowed this many pressures. None. 0. Goose egg. So, against a banged up TJ Watt, I think he could probably do his thing tomorrow. I do. But yeah, man. Let me see how Roquan even beaten them. Has Roquan even beaten the Steelers? No, he hasn't. Now that I think about it, yeah, no, Roquan hasn't beat the Steelers. Listen, man. There's a lot of guys on this Ravens team right now who are not real Ravens, and this is not according to me. This is according to them, the lineage of this rivalry. A lot of Ravens players will tell you you're not a real Raven until you beat the Steelers. That means a lot of guys on this roster are not real Ravens yet. And guess, I know they want this one so bad. They need it so bad. Yeah. All of us need this W, Sean. You're absolutely right. And Shamil, I pray I'm right too. I pray I'm right too. I'm going to go with an Isaiah likely touchdown, and the Ravens win 31-23 tomorrow. Rolling with Davo podcast says happy B-Day. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you for coming through. Sam says target Patrick Queen all game. Hate that snake. Oh, man. Patrick Queen, he's a friend of the show. He's been on this very podcast before. I can't talk bad about him, man. I can't talk bad about him. Do I like that he's a Steeler? No. Do I hope we kick his ass tomorrow? Yes, for sure. But I can't talk bad about Patrick Queen. He is a friend of the show. But yeah, go over the middle of the field. I think that tomorrow's, again, is going to be a big game for our tight ends. I also think that Tez Walker, who scored a touchdown, his first touchdown on his first catch last week, I feel like he gets some more opportunities as well. So, you heard it here first. But to wrap this all up, going past the the Ravens versus Steelers matchup tomorrow, the Diontae Johnson situation again. The Ravens waived Diontae Johnson today. I guess they didn't think that they would get a comp pick out of him because nobody else is going to want to pick him up. I don't know what the future for Diontae Johnson looks like. I don't know if he could potentially sign to another team, right? Or a contender, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs just went out and was like, hey, come over and play football for us, and we're not worried about your personality or anything like that. Just go out there and catch passes. Patrick Mahomes is going to throw it to you. We're going to give you an opportunity, a better opportunity than the Ravens. And that would just completely shift his mentality. And he might start turning up, and that would really piss me off. It really would. But again, I just really, really think that the Ravens, Eric DaCosta, you got to be a little bit more calculated with these moves. And I've told Alex this multiple times on the show. I'm sure you guys have heard me say this as well. You knew Diontae Johnson was a personality guy. Why try to bring in a personality guy mid-season when things are full swing, when you don't have time to really ingratiate this guy into the Ravens culture and really teach him what it means to play like a Raven? He's a mercenary, right? He is a hired gun. That's what he is. That's what you brought him in to be. Like, you can't bring guys in mid-season, especially guys who have bounced around different teams because of ego and behavior issues, and expect him to just fully buy in. You just can't. You just can't. You can't expect him to practice just as hard as the rest of the guys, right? And really like pour himself into this team. He wants to catch passes on Sundays. That's the kind of guy that Diontae Johnson is. And you knew that, Eric DaCosta. You knew that. That's my issue. You knew that. If you were going to bring in a guy like that, bring him in over the off season where you have months to really get him used to the Ravens culture. You have months to get him to buy into what this organization is trying to do, what this organization is all about. We did that with Odell. Brought him in the offseason. I'll never forget. Easter Sunday, right? We signed Odell Beckham Jr., and he was awesome for us. Not in the production sense, but like there was never any drama. There was never any quarrels, things like that. Nothing like that, And not to say that Odell is like a huge personality guy, but he's got a little personality in him. He's got a little ego in him. Most wide receivers do. So I just, I think it was just a miscalculation on the part of our front office, man. And the fact that it just blew up in their face the way it did. When we got him, EDC, what are you doing? I said, you can go back and look. The YouTube short is still posted from a month and a half ago. When we first picked up Diontae Johnson, we traded for him. I understand we got him for virtually nothing, but we got nothing out of him. So what was it a waste of? Our time. And time is just as valuable as money. A total waste of time. Diontae Johnson on this Ravens team. 1 catch, 6 yards, 5 targets. Like, this is a lesson learned. Let me see. Shamil Malik says, look at Tre'Davious White, bro. Look how humble he's been. And even on Marlo's podcast, Tre'Davious White, he's a good dude. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Trey White, love what he's been doing so far. He's very humble. I did not catch the whole Punchline podcast with Marlon Humphrey and Jack Settleman, not yet, but I did see a clip earlier on X where he was talking about Josh Allen, how great Josh Allen is, and how much he loves his teammates, and shout out to Josh Allen or whatever. But you know, I feel like it's a little bit different when you bring in like a defensive player, because the ego with defensive players is not going to be as strong as the ego of a wide receiver that you're bringing in midseason. Because a wide receiver, he's expecting what? He's expecting to get the ball, right? A DB who you bring in, he probably doesn't want the ball to come his way. That's the difference, right? The wide receiver wants the play to come his way. The DB is just trying to do everything in his power to make the play not come his way. And if it does, he's going to make a play on the ball, maybe try to get an interception, something like that. Excuse me. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap there. Been live for about 30 minutes. Where you at with OBJ? Don't need him. Don't need him. If there's one reason why I would want OBJ back in the castle, is just for the vibes. I know that he is a great teammate. He's probably great in the locker room, but at this point in his career, at this point in the season, I just think that he would be more, even with the wide receiver room looking like it is right now, with Bateman banged up, with Nelson Aguilar not playing tomorrow. I still don't think that bringing in Odell is conducive to winning a championship. But yeah, I'll leave that there. Shamil says, have a good birthday, Sutton. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Shamil. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you watching right now. If you're listening to my voice right now, I need you to listen. I appreciate you. Me and Alex, we really do. We love each and every one of you. We can't say thank you enough for all the support you've given us over the years. Me personally, I love all of you guys, and I love the Purple Rain podcast family. I love what we've built, and I hope we continue to build this over, years to come. I hope we build this for years to come. And the night we win a Super Bowl, just know we're going to be live, baby. We're going to be live. Me and you, because I know you'll tune in. Wherever you are watching right now, I know you'll tune in, and we're going to be live, and we're going to celebrate. And all of our work, right, is going to come to a head when we win a Super Bowl. I just cannot wait. I cannot wait. Yeah, like I said, I'll leave it there. Thank you, Sean, again for the B-Day wishes. I love you guys. This has been the Purple Rain podcast. Your boy Sutton Def. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.